Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and we're going to have another little rural chat. I've been doing some thinking, and I watched a video on, I believe it was Sunday, from Bear Independent. Really great channel, really smart dude. And so he had a person on his Patreon go through and ask the question, what would life be like 1 week after an EMP? Excellent video. If you haven't watched it, I shared it out on the Facebook page, and I would encourage, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Really great insight. And so it got me thinking. I wanted to take it a little bit further than the overview. And so if you go through and you look, the way that technology has changed our lives, if you will, the way that things have progressed so rapidly, and you can have anything be good and bad. A pencil can do amazing things as well as do harmful things. You can bring physical harm with a pencil to somebody. The thing is all in what the user uses it for. Okay. We talked about good intentions and bad intentions. You can take a person and give them any sort of an object. You can even give them information, and it's what that person chooses to do with it. Okay. And a lot of creations, a lot of things that have been brought about were done with really great intentions. And it's people that go through and try and figure out how to utilize it for bad intentions, how to make it conform to the way that they want, so that way they get personal gain, regardless of what it does to the others, and usually at great expense to others. Now, we gone through, and with the technology, it's has started to replace those mundane starter jobs. We go through and we've joked a lot about the way of getting rid of like cashiers, okay? And so when that happened, the joke become you would go and get an item or two, it'd be 12.73, you would hand them a 20, and they would look at you going, okay. And you're going, wait, it's basic, simple math. Like, it's what you and I were raised with. And a lot of them could not. Now, real quick, I'm not saying every person in retail behind the counter can't do simple math. Okay. I'm saying that it's enough that it became quite a joke, almost a meme and things like that. So as we go through and we look at all the other ones, I was recently looking at it, an article, and I believe somebody even talked about it, that AI is taking over medical diagnosis. We already have robots and the help of technology doing things like surgery, but now you're getting into the diagnostics, the triage, if you will, and it's going through everything. Think about all the factories and everything that things are automated, where they go through and they make an assembly line that, most things that are mass produced is on an assembly line, whether that be a tangible object or even food. And so it brings it down to, what do you really know? Okay. So that's where I wanted to go with this one, at least for the start of this video. When it comes to knowing something, it's usually common practice. It's something you're already doing every day. As a child, you get taught how to tie your shoe. Okay. So you master it, after a course of however said period of time, and it becomes just a routine thing. You don't wake up one day and go, man, how do I tie a shoe? You've been doing it every day pretty much for years. So you know how to do it. Now, you get different other shoe companies that have put out shoes without shoelaces, slip-ons and other things like that. It's going to be very interesting that you have some sort of apocalyptic thing happen. Are they going to remember how to tie shoes? Is it that age-old, saying that it's like riding a bike. You just, gotta hop back on and it'll come back to you. Guess we'll see. But it goes into as things progress, as technology gets better and gets more widespread into different things, how many how many of those jobs, if you will be replaced by some sort of robotic or AI technology? You already get kids nowadays that, why would I learn how to do simple math or most math? I have a calculator. I have a smartphone in my pocket. Why would I learn this? I don't need to know history. If somebody asks me something, you just say, "Hey Siri" or "Hey Google" or whatever it is. There's a bunch of that, and you've got to see a little further into the way that technology is going. That it's not going to be very long before you get even more jobs being taken over. Take it back to when you and I were a kid. If you told me that uh, I was going to go to McDonald's and I would be giving a robot my food order, I would laugh at you. I'd be like, this isn't the Jetsons. It's not going to happen. If you go back to you as a, third grader or whatever, and say you have the entire knowledge of every person on Earth, you can carry it around in your pocket. You couldn't fathom it, but here we are. And so it goes into more that it goes, and all this progresses really quickly. When I was a kid, there was not home computers, there was not cell phones, there uh, wasn't internet all over the place and all these things. There was pay phones and things like that. And so as technology goes, we adapt and we, grudgingly have to learn how to do the technology. But I implore you to make sure that you know how to do things, because we've become into that age. If I don't know how to do something, well, there's YouTube. I just go type something in and it'll tell me what I need to know. I'll get the basics of it and I'll figure it out from there. Okay, well, it works for a lot of people. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. You'll be doing a brake job on a neighbor's car, something you've never done before because I've never had that year, make, model. And I'll run into a little problem and I'll think about it for a second and watch a YouTube clip and okay, now I see how to do that. Okay, I'm guilty of it too. But the thing is as we get further and as we progress and we get those important jobs, things like medical, if an EMP was to happen, all those are down. Now you've had a period of time to where people were not being trained medically. Why would you? Why would you have a class and teach people when the machine does it better than you and will do it better than you ever could? Why would you teach triage? Why would you teach how to diagnose medical when it's basically obsolete for a human to do it? And so when an EMP strikes, who's going to do it? Medical is extremely important. And so if you don't have that, especially, what do we do? Who has a medical book? Anybody out there, raise your hand. Do you have a medical book just in case? Probably not. I mean, that's what WebMD's for. You have some symptoms, and so you just go to the internet. You want to figure something out, you go to the internet. You want to be entertained, you want to watch a movie, go to the internet. You want to read a book, no one goes to a library hardly anymore. Nobody buys the actual tangible, hold in your hand, hard copy book. Why would you? Books are expensive. They're bulky. I can pay $1.99 and get the virtual. What happens during an EMP? All that's gone. All your entertainment, all the movies that you bought, they're gone. All your books that you got are gone. All your pictures. Who's printed out a picture and hung it on their wall lately? Why would you? You can. view it on your phone in a second and move on. As things go, it seems like the value of everything has gone. The human connection to a lot of things has gone. We used to go out on a family trip with the Polaroid or the disposable camera, and you would take your picture that would go on the wall or in a photo album, and it would bring back great memories. And I don't know if it's just because we are at that point that you can pull out that little plastic spy device in your pocket and snap 8,000 pictures and go through and edit them and take out all the blemishes and all the red eye and this and that and make it absolutely perfect. It's not real. You've changed it so much. You had 30 pictures that snapped instantaneously that you get to choose from. But to take out that old photo album of that Polaroid from 35 years ago, it means a lot more, at least to me anyway. And so we're going to lose a lot. And I believe, as far as prepping, it's going to be more than just your body surviving. It's going to be your mind surviving. Are you prepping for that? Are you prepping to carry things on? There's a lot more to life than just doing the animalistic side of getting up, eating, mating, carrying on, creating offspring. There's more to it than that. And so we have to make sure that we prep to carry on as much as we can the good stuff. Not to say that you don't take out the bad, you learn from the bad. And so that needs to be, a part of it. Let's say that there's an EMP, and I believe that they said it would take 2 to 7 years to rebuild the infrastructure. Okay, let's pretend that usually they're wrong, and let's say it's actually closer to 10 years. Okay, let's say that there is a child that was just born. They would be close to 10 years old before they got kind of back to where we are now. You would have that obligation to, y- you know, pass things on. Can you teach them that? Do you have the ability? Do you have the materials? Does somebody, if you can't? I've always put that into when you build your prepping group, when you build your mag, your tribe, whatever you want to call it, there needs to be a teacher. A teacher is a special person. Now, we can all teach somebody something, we can all train somebody in something, but a teacher is a special person. They have that personality that they usually can get along with most people. They have that ability to take knowledge and to teach it in different forms. So that way, the person on the other end may learn more of a hands on this way, the other one may learn a different way. And that teacher has that ability to conform and to get the point across and to keep at it and has that patience to be able to do it. I've always stressed that you need somebody like that. I would say that if there is an SHTF situation, that you're going to have it to where stress levels are really high. Patience is probably not going to be high on the list for most people. You're probably going to have most people are going to be extremely grumpy. Start taking things like hours of sleep, uh, good tasting food. You're probably going to have even less food, even though it doesn't taste very well. There's going to be a lot, you're going to have disagreements. We are human. People's going to butt heads because of opinions. And so to have somebody that is level headed, somebody that can take a step back, somebody that is not quick to jump the gun and to, turn into your group as a dictatorship. How many people that have a group have gone through and figured out what they're going to do when it comes to a major decision? Have you done it to where you're going to be a democracy? You guys are all going to vote on it? Is it going to be basically like a dictatorship? Look, this is my group, it's my way, or you guys can go. Is it going to be a full-on election process? Is it going to be a thing of, look, you've been running this thing for 6 months, we're not happy, we want to vote somebody else in? Is it going to be one member from each family goes and sits on a board? How are you going to do it? Has anybody even thought about that? Okay. uh, Bob might be a really great leader now, but after 6 months of, 2 hours of sleep a night and 500 calories a day, all the stress and everything, maybe he just can't take it no more. Who's going to step up? Cross training is going to be extremely, extremely important. You're going to have failures. You're going to have accidents. You're going to have people that just they burn out. Everybody is depending on me because I'm the blacksmith, and I can't do it no more. I cannot take the stress. I need to step back. I'm going to need a vacation or whatever. I mean, to have somebody go through and request a vacation 6 months into an SHTF situation, you take it for what you will, but uh, you know you you should probably be more into who's in your group and know their abilities. But let's step back. So when it comes back into all this technology, okay, how much are you dependent? How much do you have invested into yourself, into your group? Just because somebody is really, really great at something, okay? I would say that most preppers probably need to be a jack of all trades and a master at none. Because if you have somebody in your group, whether it be for security, whether it be for medical, whatever it is, you've got to make sure that you understand that they have other jobs. Okay. If you have a person that is in your group that is the medical professional, the 20 years of medical things, they know how to operate, they know how to triage, they know how to do all this stuff. Okay. If everybody's doing really well, no sickness, no accidents, no major anything, what are they doing besides just eating your food? Okay. Same thing with the security guy. If they're out on security and doing all this stuff and nobody, you haven't seen another soul come anywhere near your property for 3 weeks, what are they doing? You know, have you thought about that? It's where cross training comes in. And it comes into we don't have to do something because we have the best of the best. Okay, but what happens when that accident happens? What happens if that person gets sick or injured or anything along those lines? Who's going to step up into their role? Same thing with leadership. Just because Bob is going to be the leader, everybody's decided it, everything's great like that. What happens when the balloon goes up and Bob doesn't make it to the location? What happens if Bob turns out to be a bad leader when all this goes down? Is there a process to remove Bob? Is there a process to where you're going to go into it and go, hey, man, we all took a vote and you're out? What's Bob going to do? Is Bob just going to be like, oh, okay, sorry? Or is Bob going to be like, no, listen, we decided this. I'm the leader. So there's a lot. Okay. And I know I went all over the place. Food for thought. It's a rural talk. Okay. If this is your first one, welcome aboard the crazy train. If this is not your first one, you know what to expect. We just go all over the place. Whatever pops in the mind just comes out and goes down the microphone and out into your speakers. Usually, you guys like the rural talk, and I like the way that Bear from Bear Independent has his Patreon. I don't foresee me ever doing a Patreon. I like this. Maybe if we get as big as he is. You know, he's got what 200,000 subscribers. So hats off to the man. He's obviously doing something much better. But if you guys have a topic for a rural talk, if you guys want me to express on a certain subject or something along those lines, uh, reach out to me. My email is down there. Drop it into the comments down below, and we'll pick some and we'll do a rural talk from a viewer request. Now, I've had a few of you that have asked a few questions in email. I have taken the time and responded, but I may end up taking those and making a video for them and doing just a whole show on video questions. So, with that, if you guys made it to the video, this part, you rock. I know it's a little bit longer of one, but I appreciate you guys spending a little bit of time with me. Just make sure that you guys know that I don't know when this video is going to drop, but we do have the Caleb House donation contest. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please, please go check that out. It's a way that it will reward you or give you the opportunity to be rewarded for generosity. So, with that, I want to say God bless each and every one of you. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And with that, I want to say remain united because we're all pro.